There we go. It's all contrived. Oh, did my stream reset or something? My stream must have reset. Because all of a sudden my stream preview started playing and it wasn't doing that before. The stream must have went down. Maybe did OBS crash? No, it says it's been recording for 48 minutes. It hasn't dropped any frames. Weird. Nobody said anything in chat, so they either think I'm not streaming anymore, or not, they didn't notice anything, or they're just being lurkers, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to speak up. Remain a lurker. I respect lurkers. So we're still doing this, but we're making a new format here. It did go offline for you? Refresh and it's good. Yeah, it must be on Twitch's end, right? Although it's sort of coincidental that OBS said, hey, or OBS did something and macOS said, hey, you can get notifications from OBS now. I'm like, what? So this name is cloned again. And we're not, am I still making a hash map? I think I'm still trying to make a hash map. Parser is going to be this dot 0 dot clone. And I have to borrow to do that. String shared parser. I have to say name and parser, don't I? Okay. So this is RC new ref cell new parser. Cool. So we got a big fat warning here. Because this can fail. Is it the set that can fail? Probably, right? Everything can fail. Well, we're inside of that get, so why don't we just question mark it? Cool, and I didn't use the format at all. Don't I want to? Oh, no, I don't want to. So really, I don't want to get the form. I want to do dot keys, right? For name in. And I didn't need to do this at all. We're not making a table. Oh, we are making a table, sorry. Oh, set is not a mutable method? Huh, that's interesting. So it doesn't need to be mutable in Rust. I guess because it's mutable in Lua, but not in Rust. It's just a handle to a table. So I want to see if I don't even need that table. But first I want to see if this works. So I should be able to, while I'm building it, should be able to go to this and like, that's already done. We should be able to say, give me a parser, and then print, well, what is it? Formats? And we get a table. Okay, so, right. I forget how to work with tables in Lua. There's like a way you could get... Okay, we're just gonna go back to learning Lua. Basic concepts, values and types. There's a way to get like the keys to a table, right? The language, here we go. Variables, statements, chunks, assignment. For statement. I think it's in this, but I don't remember. It has to do with what you can do with the table, right? There was operators, relational operators, logical operators, length operator. Oh, I kind of remember this now. So you do hashtag T, and that gives you its border. So it's the intuitive notion of the length. Table constructor. Oh, it's with assignment. Okay. Oh, wasn't it like pairs or something? Yeah, here we go. So for IV and I, why is it I pairs? Oh, that's integer pairs. Right. If T has a metatable, so normal tables do, right? Otherwise it returns next table, so that it iterates over all key, that's what I want. So I want 4 KV for name format in pairs parser formats. Do, and then end, right? Print name. Actually, let's do format.name. That's the whole point of exercising that, right? Okay. There we go. Bar and foo. Cool. So something more substantial. Actually, let's just print name. And it was a dot to do a glue, right? Name equals some of this is coming back to me. So we'll just print the names separately, make sure that they're the same. A dot right there. Still, is dot not the way you concatenate strings in Lua? I guess not. Is it plus? I thought it was dot. Which language had the dot in it to concatenate? Okay, it is dot, right? Double dot. Thank you. Thank you, grade 2. Is it PHP that has dot? So I definitely need to award some points to grade 2. Thank you. Now you have 1 useless internet point. Okay, we're slowly building this up. So what do I actually allow one to do with a format? In the AST. It's got a name, which is redundant because we already had that from the table. Oh, that's right. I wanted to see if I could, if hash map is automatically convertible into Lua. So we have a vector of arguments, and an argument has an ID. I actually don't know if I really need the AST to be available to Lua, because the AST is really used by the ingestion library, right? At most, I'd want the script to be able to know what the names of the formats are. So maybe I just leave it at that and I move on to the ingestion library. So then a format is sort of a nebulous. Actually, then I really just need to make a table with the names in it. And I don't need a format at all. But it was useful to play around with. That's for sure. So in the end, well, actually, I wanted to see, can I do this with a collect? So it would be yeah, it's gonna end up being a hash set, isn't it? Because it's gonna be a keys dot map name to format. Dot collect into a hash set. See if it lets me do this. Formats. I don't need to do that. It's just okay around the whole thing. And the answer is no. Hash set into Lua is not satisfied. So let's see if I can make it into a hash map. So then this part, so here I have to make name.clone and a format. That semicolon shouldn't have been there in the first place, though. Okay, so hash map is supported. So I'm wondering now, could I have made that a set if I didn't have a semicolon there? Okay, so you can't, equal is not satisfied. From iterator t is not satisfied. Hash is not satisfied. So that makes sense, I guess. I'd have to make format partial equal, hashable, all that stuff. Okay, but let's see. Now, if I made a hash map, it should work the same way, right? So build, cargo build. Yeah, still works. All right, so in the end, though, I really just need a list. So it's just a table with, oh, it's a set, right? A table with the names in it. How do you make a set in in Lua, is it just the pairs where the value is nil? Lua set type. How do you express a set? Okay, not getting anywhere, so it's ChatGPT time. Can't do this on stream. I'll just read back what ChatGPT says. So is it possible to represent a set of strings in Lua? So you use a table. Okay, it's just saying to use a Boolean for the value. The keys of the strings and the values are set to true to indicate that the string is a member of the set. You can add elements to the set by assigning a value true to a new key and remove it by setting it to nil. Okay. You remove elements by setting the corresponding key to nil, it says. Oh, that's right. The value can't be nil because nil, when you look it up, it's nil if it's not in the set in the table. Okay, ChatGPT is again wise and true. So I would make a. That's probably how we. Let's try it. Let's do hash set of just the names. So it would be the keys cloned. Hash set of references to strings. I don't want references. Cloned. Okay, it actually does work. But I won't be able to call the name of the format. Right? It'll just be the name. If I try to do this, it'll say that it's a Boolean value. Okay, so it's doing it automatically. It's if it's in the set, it's true. So I would just do for name in actually I guess it's just this. Well, just go back to printing name. Do I actually need, I don't need this, do I? Do I need pairs? Hold on, you gave me a link. PhD Horrible, how are you doing? Copy link. Oh, it's already 9:30. I have to like get ready to meet someone in like half an hour online. Sets and bags. Oh, this is the book that I was looking for. Thank you, PhD Horrible. I was trying to remember what book this that I know that Lua has a manual, but it's not the best, and there's this accompanying book, and I totally forgot about it. I'm gonna give you 3 points. It just went live though. Well, I started an hour ago. There was some kind of weird glitch 15 minutes ago about Twitch. The streams went down even though I didn't drop any frames. Oh, actually now I've dropped 123 frames. That's what is that? I stream at what, 20 frames per second, so it's like 6 seconds. Huh. It didn't show that before though. But yeah, my streams in the mornings are kind of short sometimes because if I have a 9 o'clock meeting and I only start streaming at 7:30, that means I can only go like maybe an hour and a half at most. Indices in a table. Nil or not. So yeah, they're doing the same thing. They're just setting it to true. So you can just reference it. I don't have to do a pairs. Wait, why are they ignoring the keys? And only looking at the values. Oh, because that's an array, right? Okay. So I guess I could just try this. Can I just say for name in parser formats and it will enumerate the keys for me. It ends up calling a table. So I guess I have to do it that way. Ignore the values. Just got a notification a few minutes ago. Yeah, it's when the stream went down and went back up like a few seconds later. It's the first edition, not any editions later. Well, do I still have my ChatGPT window open? I don't. let me open it again. ChatGPT is wonderful. I can just say, I can ask it. The only problem is I don't want to show it on screen because it has my name in it. And I don't want to just show that to everybody. Say, how do you enumerate the keys of a Lua table? You can use a loop to iterate the keys of the table. They're not inherently ordered. So it just uses pairs. If you treat it like an array, you can use I pairs. Is there a way to do that without needing the values and calling pairs? Yes, if you only want to enumerate the keys without the values, you can use combination of next and pairs functions. The next function allows you to iterate over the table, returning the next key value pair. So you always get the value. It's just you just ignore it. Okay, and then a more pointed question is there a simpler method that doesn't return the values but only returns the keys? It's thinking, if you want to avoid using next to pairs, you can manually maintain a separate list of the keys while populating the table. Well, that's smart, but I don't, yeah. Yeah, I think we always get the values out, even though they're just true. They're always true, right? Hey there, Papato Still Papa. I'm gonna get my slippers because I'm cold. It's only 65 freedom degrees. I'm probably not the first one to notice this, but Fahrenheit starts with an F and Celsius starts with a C. And like just making fun of political correctness. F also stands for freedom and C stands for communism, right? So I can call them freedom degrees and communist degrees. Oh, I'm bad. I'm a bad streamer. Okay, I got like, I don't know, 15 minutes at least. Freedom units, communist units for sure. Yeah. So I'm not the first person to realize that. In fact, I probably heard it and subliminally held on to that concept. Yeah, that happens, right? Okay, so ultimately I don't need this wonderful format, but I will want that for data components. So that's probably what I'm going to turn it into in a bit. So parser is just cloning the keys of the formats whenever we ask for it and putting it into a hash set. Okay, and then maybe the next part would be to actually parse something real. So I have to learn how to do file IO in Lua because actually no, I don't need to do file IO. Well, hold on. I prefer that the module not do the IO directly, but just be given a string. So actually that means that what we want is the raw format as a string. Can we accept a slice from Lua? That's a question. Actually, the way this is going to work, though, is I have to put it here, right? I don't know if we actually get it like that. So args. I'm going to keep it a tuple, even though it's only got one thing in it. Because just to reinforce in my mind that it's a multi-args. So, actually, then it doesn't have a name. So I guess we'll just keep it args. Well, no, I want to do it like this. Let raw formats equal args, comma, right? because we're destructuring a tuple, and that's raw formats. Okay, so can I parse raw formats, moving that into Lua? Actually, I should have just, well, that's trivial, right? I can type that. Okay, so a slice can't fit into it's trying to tell me the slice doesn't work, right? So a slice from Lua multi doesn't work. So I guess it has to be a string. So I need to borrow that. So that works. Right, so then let's cargo build that. Well, that's working. Then we have to actually put the formats in here. We'll start off with just foo. Easy, right? Cool. And if I were to make a syntax error, it's probably going to blow up, right? Panic, unexpected token. So now I want to turn it into a real Lua error. So to do that properly, I probably want to make this a result self, right? Result self and the parser error, right? And not unwrap this, or just do a question mark, right? And I have to do an O. Well, actually, I can just do this. Take that back. It's parser.parse dot map rc. Well, this part, right? Oh, it's a new type, so self. This part. There we go. It didn't like that. I thought parse returned. Oh. Oh. So I do need to do that one. And if it's okay, it's okay. It's still map, actually. Hold on, it's still map. But we ignore this because that is a unit. Yeah, that works. So we ignore this because its parser's mutable. This mutates the parser, and then maybe we get an error. But if we don't, we're just taking the parser and putting it into a ref cell and returning it. Okay, so then parser. Right, this is fallible, right? So I want to I have to make I have to implement a two Lua error from my parser error, right? So I don't think I can do the question mark one. In fact, if I do this, it's going to say it's not, they're mismatched, right? They're distinct types. And I can't do that, right? It's going to say that there's no, it's not, they're incompatible. So I think I just have to do a map error, right? Can I just do a format? Parser error. I don't remember if I made it to string. And actually, what can I put in a Lua error? Syntax error, runtime error, memory error. Is there a user error? With context? What do I just do? Runtime error? Like, what kind of error am I supposed to generate? I'm guessing it's runtime error. Memory limit, recursive mutex, callback destructure, stack error, bind error, bad argument, to Lua conversion error, from Lua conversion error, coroutine inactive, data type mismatch, data type destructed, user data borrow error. I was hoping they'd have like a user error, but I guess they don't. Nope. Time to ask ChatGPT what I should do. Soon we'll be asking ChatGPT for all our needs, right? Need to watch the SNL skit last week and on George Washington's legacy. Okay. What variant of error is appropriate to use when returning a custom error from a function attached to a Lua table returned by a module imported from a Rust library using mlua. So I gave it all the context. In the context you describe, where you're working with a Lua table returned by a module imported from a Rust library using mlua, you can use a custom Lua error to signal specific problems. In Lua, you create a custom error by using the error function. This function can take a string message as an argument. Okay. If you're working with mlua in the context, you can use the Lua error type provided by mlua. Okay, cool. So I just use there's an error external to make a custom error. Okay. See, ChatGPT is wonderful. It says that here I can do it map to what did it say again? Error external. So just say mlua to disambiguate it. Actually, let's make mlua the primary, so we can have error here, right? So we can just say error external. There we go. And that's to wrap an external error. But it says it can take a string, so let's give it a string. Well, what do you know? It worked. ChatGPT, you're awesome. So cool. We wrapped our Lexer error into Lua. Perfect. So let's fix it. I fix it like with that. And then I can add a bar if I want. And I can even have a bar statement inside the foo. But if I forget the semicolon, then it's an R brace unexpected. And it actually tells me where it is. Well, it thinks that this is a line, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it says that this R brace is unexpected. How do you do multi-line? ChatGPT. How do you do multi-line string constants in Lua? How do you do it, ChatGPT? In Lua, you can create multi-line string constants using either double square brackets or single square brackets. These delimiters allow you to define a string that spans multiple lines without having to escape. Oh, cool. So it says I can just do this. ChatGPT, you're awesome. Okay, so I can actually put my formats directly into my Lua if I want. So the next thing I want to do is see if I can read them. So like now it should give me the line number, and we have to remember that it's gonna add 1 to the line number. So it says 3 and it's really on line 4. Okay, it subtracts 1 from the line number. So when it says line 3, it's really line 4. Also, it says column 5. Really, we're on column 12. 1, 2, 3. Is it off by 1? What if I put a $sign there? It should say, okay, it is line 2. So that's line 1, line 2. So it's not counting that as a line. It's seeing that this is the first line. Okay, it's got the column number correct. Okay, so it's line 3 is line 1 and the column number. So it literally is giving that to the parser. There's no empty line before or after. Well, after actually it might give me one. What if I put that there? What does it complain about there? I have to not make that a syntax error. Line 6. Okay, so there is a line, technically an empty line there. Cool. All right. Do I have enough time to do this? Maybe. Let's just ask Lua or ask ChatGPT. How do I read in the contents of a text file in Lua? You use the io.open function, open the file, and use file read method to read its contents. Here's an example. Read takes an argument though. Argument *a means read the whole file. Huh, I want to look that up. So io read. Would that be in this book or this book? Does this cover the IO library? Standard libraries, input output facilities. Here we go. Oh, sorry, Bullseye AUG. For some reason, AutoMod didn't like the phrase little tool. So that's what Bullseye AUG wrote. ChatGPT is a great little tool. You don't find it writes code very well, but we love it for error resolution. I love it as just a find me some information. So I asked it, is it possible to represent a set of strings in Lua? And then I asked it, is there a simpler method that doesn't return values, only returns the keys? And then I asked it, how do you do multi-line string constants? And I also asked it, which variant of error is appropriate to use when returning a custom error from a function attached to a Lua table, returned by a module imported from a Rust library using mlua. So I gave it all the context and just like spit out what you've digested from the internet. So read, right? File read. Here we go. According to the given formats, which specify what to read. For each format, the function returns a string or a number with the characters read, or nil if it can't read it. So A reads the whole file starting at the current position. N reads a numeral and returns it as a float or an integer. L reads the next line, skipping to the end of line. That's kind of an interesting way to implement read for a file. I found that it's the hardest part sometimes. Yeah, but it's so much easier than like search terms in Google search. Like those are hard because it's non-contextual. It's not natural language. I can form a natural language query, and ChatGPT basically boils it down to what are the correct search terms to use, then searches for that. And then when it finds it, it kind of puts it back into a language model so that I can understand it. So it's like adapting my brain to in how the search engine would work and then back. Yeah, I love it. I'm a convert. I totally am converted now to using ChatGPT for any kind of complex search. If it's a simple search, sure, go to Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever. Anything more than like a few search terms, then I'm just going to ask ChatGPT a question. And isn't it so that you can even do the speech to text? You can just talk to it now. I think on your phone, right? You can talk to it. You say, "Hey, ChatGPT." Okay, enough gushing about ChatGPT. Let's get this to work. So, I think I'll just hack in right now the path. So it's going to be let raw formats. I don't need a let because this is Lua. I had to actually get a file, right? I can do it all in one line though. So that's io.open gif.format .read star. Why did it want me to put a star? The manual didn't say the star, did it? Okay, I wonder if ChatGPT has got a little confused there. Because this just says A reads the whole file. There's no star in there. Let's just do A. Out of curiosity, maybe I can do the put the star in there and see what it gets. So this should now give me all of my formats. Bad argument 1 to read. File expected got string. So does it want the star? No. It's that the read failed. So do I need to break this up into two things? Oh, wait. Don't you do... I need to do a colon, not a dot. Right? Oh, and that syntax doesn't work. No, it does work. Okay, it worked. Parsed my GIF file format. Cool. So it really is using my parser. And that's all. What's kind of cool is that's all I needed to do to route the parser was make an RC ref cell. And that's only if I want to share the parser with other user datas. But minimally, it's just new, takes the raw formats, makes a lexer, and parses it. I wanted to change this around too, right? I wanted to be able to like make a new parser and then like add formats to it. So I think I want the parser to actually be in, well, it already is in. So I think I want new to just do that part. And then we'll have like a parse method, which does this part. Yeah, so we should just make the new parser and then put it in a cell. This part should be another function, a method called parse. And then really all we need in the Lua right now is the names of the formats. So hash set of the names cloned. And then, so the next part I think is going to be, I do the ingestion library, and that the ingestion library should be able to work with the parser by taking these, the formats out of the parser and ingesting binary data with it. So that's what I'm going to do probably later after work today. So I got to go because I got a meeting in a few minutes. But I hope you enjoyed me struggling with Lua and adapting my library to it. I'll be doing more of it tonight. Let's go raid Tim in the meantime. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day or evening. And I will see you next time. Rating in 5, 4, 3. Bye-bye.